capable of adding multiple. Let's take a look at the exercises for lesson 9, which will be about collection. So what exactly we intend to do? Currently, as it stands at the end of the exercise for lesson 8, we, in the product manager class, we have a single product, an array of reviews. What we need to do is change that to be a hash map, where the key in the map will be the product object, and then the value in the hash map will be a list of reviews. So we'll be able to store multiple products and multiple reviews. In addition to that, we need to figure out how to, add and change these entries, and some kind of a mechanism for sorting this list, this collection. I suppose when it comes to, laying it out and printing it for our users. Okay, well, let's start with assumptions that either complete the exercise for lesson 8 or you open the solution for it. Yeah? So if you completed the exercise for lesson 8, you can continue an existing project. Otherwise, you open the solution project and you continue from there. So in the actual algorithm that we need to write, the first thing we need to do is to change the way we store products and reviews and turn that from single object and array into a hash map. So that's in the product manager class. Replace the declaration of product and reviews variables with this hash map. Let's do that. Yeah. So obviously that will break some existing code there, but that's fine. We're gonna fix it. So currently in the product manager, we have a single product and an array of reviews. So let's get rid of that and replace that with the hash map. You would need to import relevant components, fix imports. That will fix imports for hash map and for Java util list as well. Yeah, there's another class called list in Java AWT package. So that means we'll show you which ones you are actually importing. Yeah? So give you a choice. Okay, so we have this products hash map, but obviously at the moment the rest of this class isn't really using it. It's still referring to the old variables, which we just removed, so that needs to be fixed. Okay, so where did it is now? Modify both versions of create product method to put the new instance of that product into the array list, put that product into the hash map and the new instance of array list to be associated with the product. So our assumption is when you create the product, there are no reviews for it yet. So you just put an empty array list for, storing future reviews, but there are no actual entries there as such. However, make sure you do not try to put the product into the map if such product is already present. So we don't want to just demolish the product that's already in a map, right? We only want to add a product if it's new. Okay, well, so what we need to do is modify the logic. Change the line of code that creates the product instance in both create product methods. Right? To assign it not to the instance variable product, which it was assigned in before, but to the local variable product. So all you are really changing in this situation is where you previously used an instance variable, which you just commented out. You now declare that as local variable. That's two versions of create product, and we're now using a local variable for product instead of the instance variable. But we We still need to add the code that will put that product into the product's hash map, and first we need to check if such product is already in the map or not, so that is still to come. Before returning the product object from these methods, place it into the product's map together with fresh new array list for reviews. Do not place this map entry if it exists. So two things need to be done: to check if it exists, and we need to place it there. Fortunately, there is a method provided by the hashMap which does exactly that. It's called put if absent. So yeah, just use that method. So what we put in into the map is that product and an empty, for a moment, array list that, well, it is intended to store reviews. Yeah, make sure you import the array list, yeah, and you do it in both versions of create product method. It's a factory method that creates foods and drinks, and they're not just creating food and drink, they're also putting that into the hash map if such food or drink object is not yet present in the map. Now you may ask yourself a question: how come a food or drink may already be in that map if we just created that? That's a very good point. And that depends on the quality of objects. How do we consider that food and drink to be the same or not? For example, if you look in the product class, you'll find there a method equals. And at the moment, it says if the ID and name of a particular product is the same, then that's the same product. So in other words, this is how this could happen. If you try to create a product with the exact same ID and name twice, then the second time you try it, that product won't be placed into the map. Yeah? It's only the first time when you will succeed. The put if absent method will basically call the equals upon the product and see if it's already in the map or not, just sort of, the comparison. And the equals method, as you can see, in our case, compares products by using their IDs and names. That's part of the product class design. So this is how it could happen, right? Okay. So you could use a simple put method, of course, to put things into a map, but then you have to check if such entry is present in the map or not. Because you see, if you just call the put, what will happen, it will act as an update. Yeah? So if you just say, I want to put the product and a new array list of reviews into the map, if such product already exists, you will just replace this array list of reviews. And we don't want that to happen. We don't want to replace an existing array list of reviews with an empty one, right? We don't want to lose that reviews information that's associated with the product. That's why we're using the put if absent method. Okay, so we added the import arrays. Now, modify the logic of review product method in the product manager to use that map. So obviously you can see that review product is not yet doing it because it's still referring to the old array that we just commented out. So we need to change that to start using the array list that we want to put into the hash map of products. Right, to do that, we need to remove the block of code from the beginning of the review product method that actually verifies the array is full and recreates the array and checks the capacity. None of that is needed anymore. You don't need to rescale an array. So you don't need that. So what we need to do is change the logic in the review product method. It will locate that entry in a hash map that corresponds to that product and get from it the list of reviews. So the method review product accepts the product as an argument. We essentially use it as a search condition. We take the product, we pass it to the get method upon the hash map, and we get back the list of reviews. It's possible that that list of reviews is empty and there are no reviews reviews aside, or there might be some existing reviews, in which case what we're about to do is just add an additional review to that list, right? But remember, the array list that we're getting will automatically expand if necessary, so the old code that tried to expand the array is just no longer needed. Now, if you need to add a review to the product, remember the apply method that applies the rating to the product, that reviews the product and applies the rating, recreates the product object. So that basically means that whichever product object you had in that hashMap before had to be replaced with a new one, because you're recreating the object from scratch, because the product object itself is immutable. So you're just creating a replica of it with a different rating value. So that means you need to actually remove that entry from the map. You know which product that is, you got the list of reviews from the map, and now you're going to remove that entire entry. So just get rid of it. And we will recreate this entry in a moment. We're taken out of the map and we're going to recreate it. And once again, the reason behind it is because the product is a key inside the map. The apply rating method recreates the product. So we need to get rid of the old one and we'll place a new one after we apply the rating. Okay. Now, oh yes, and the map, the hashMap doesn't have a method to update the key. There's only the method put, which updates the value of the key, but it doesn't update the key itself. So the only way to change the key in the map is to replace the product. Just remove the entry and put it again. So next, you need to create a new review object, of course, and append it to this reviews list. You should already have the reviews list, so just append it here. That's pretty straightforward. And the new review object is rating and that. And append this to the review. Rating and comments are parameters that we're receiving here in this method. Okay. Sure, semicolon at the end, of course. Next. Iterate through the list of reviews to calculate the total sum for all ratings. You still need a sum variable that you already have actually, but you won't need the I variable to maintain the index. Now that's, you could dispense with that. And you wouldn't need the while loop. You can do this calculation in a for each loop. So the calculation will look much, much shorter basically. The algorithm will just basically compute the sum by iterating through all reviews. It's as simple as that. You don't need to check if a review is null, not null. You don't need to check the length. Just get the next review, get the rating from it, get the ordinal value, so you get a numeric value for the rating, and do the run in total. That's all you need to do. So as you can see, using the collections API greatly simplifies the code. So what I'm going to do is just for a moment, I'll duplicate the code. I'll start with sum 0, yeah, format that. And then I'm just going to comment out that old block of code so you could visually see for yourselves how much easier it is to use the collection API rather than just basic arrays. Yeah? That's a much easier logic. Okay, so we calculated now the total sum of all reviews, of all ratings. And now, once that's done, after the loop, what you need to do is just change the way you calculate in the total. And the only difference is that you can now get the size from the reviews collection instead of calculating it through the I variable, which is what you were doing for the index, array index. You can just get that sum, yeah, reviews.size, and that will tell you what's going on with the number of reviews, yeah, how many reviews you've got, and you calculate it. Of course, previously you were using instance variable product, and now you're using local variable product. Yeah, when you apply the rating, you're updating a variable product, which is, well, because the instance variable is literally commented out now. Yeah? Replace the comment on it. It's the first step of this exercise. So we don't have the instance variable product anymore. We're just recreating the product. Now, so that's the change of logic. And then the extra action will be to actually put the product together with this new reviews collection back into the hashMap. Well, technically speaking, it's the same reviews collection that you got from the map in the first place, that list of reviews that you retrieved for the get method. You just added a new review to that list. But the product that was in that hashMap is now essentially dispensed of, and because we apply rating method, has recreated the product object. So we created a new entry within a hashMap that has a new product, which is a replica of the old one, but with a different rating, and the collection of reviews for that product, which is basically same as the old collection of reviews plus the additional review that we just added. And then we return this updated product back from review product method. So as you can see, the code has dramatically been simplified. Yeah? So all of that old logic is no longer needed. You can get rid of it. It serves no purpose anymore. There's still some other changes you need to make to other methods here, but as far as the creation of products and addition of reviews is concerned, that's done. Yeah, so you fix that code, and as you can see, the code becomes much more straightforward, much more simple with collections API. Just for verification reasons, this is the resulting logic of the method here, so you can compare if you're doing the same thing. Now, print product reports. A report needs a bit of fixing. So first of all, we need to add an extra argument to the print product report method. Currently, it operates on whichever project was current in the product manager, but we don't have an instance variable product anymore. Just commented it, right? So we will operate now on a parameter. We'll say for which product we would like to print that report. So instead of an instance variable product, we'll just use a parameter. Yeah, report for whichever product. The other change is how we get the list of reviews. At the beginning of this method, we need to retrieve the list of reviews for that product on the hash map. So which product that is. Get ourselves and also some logic simplification will be applicable because we don't need to check for the review now, because we know that the iterator for the list will automatically give us all valid reviews, so we can simplify that iterator. However, there is still one piece of code that we need to do. We need to check if there are no reviews at all. The no reviews at all case will now be checked with this reviews is empty method. And the if that checks if the review is now is just simply no longer needed. We can get rid of that altogether. And instead of saying reviews of conditions, we'll just simply It's very small change. Namaste.